Ombudsman currently the favourite at 7-4, Calandagan 5-2, Delacroix 9-2. Big jump up then to Almeric at 12s, Economics returning at 14-1, Almaqam, Fox Legacy 28s, over from France First Look at 33s. Much bigger prices the rest, but it is the trilogy. Ombudsman and Delacroix meet again. It's currently 1-1 in their head-to-head. And their career CVs are pretty similar, certainly in terms of prize money. 8 runs, 6 wins for Ombudsman, 11 runs, 6 wins for Delacroix, 2 Group 1 wins apiece, and it is 1-1 in the trilogy. Time form have Ombudsman as the pick in this race. He's top of the time form ratings. We can see them now. The weight-adjusted ratings have him just ahead of the French raider Calandagan and ahead of Delacroix. But the big three in the betting, very much the focus for punters today. And as I say, they meet again, Ombudsman and Delacroix. And when Ombudsman had the pace to aim at York, we saw what Ombudsman was capable of doing.
It was a bit of an extreme, though, wasn't it, Ollie? You know, we talk about pacemakers, and that's going to be how the script unfolds today, but nobody really knows with a couple in there. This was just an absolute one-off extreme. Even people watching from the sidelines had no idea what was going on, but he was super dominant. That track, we've seen that at York on a couple of occasions. A few horses have got lost a little bit when it's turned really into a speed sort of injection towards the final quarter mile, and Ombudsman is obviously blessed with a wonderful change of gear.
I think John and Thady Gosden both breathed an enormous sigh of relief that Ombudsman was able to pick up the pacemaker in the end. So that is when Ombudsman got the better of Delacroix. Delacroix got the better of Ombudsman at Sandown. And what do you think was the difference maker that day for him?
I think just the challenging times of their challenges were key. I think Delacroix quite liked being messed around, and I suspect Christophe Soumillon played an absolute blinder for Coolmore by trying to hamper Delacroix and keep him in a box, which was just brilliant riding from Soumillon in the Tabor Silks, the orange and blue on the outside. By this stage, Delacroix's out in the clear. I can't even believe Ryan Moore really thought he was going to win from here, but Ombudsman has hit the front early, I think, for him. I do think he wants to be delivered later, and Delacroix mows him down. But they are all in a bit of a heap, and I'm not sure what this form, or indeed the Juddmonte International form, is that solid as a concept.
Let's just talk tactics today, because we'll get on to Calandagan in a moment and put him into the puzzle. But how do you see the race unfolding today, with both having sort of pacemakers in there?
Well, remember when Ombudsman put up his best, he had 2 of Aiden's that went 1,000,000 miles an hour around here, and that set it up for him perfectly. Today, when they've got each have got those pace, and it's said, isn't it, all the time when you speak to them, that we want an even tempo for all, you know, something that we can just draw them out. And that's the pacemaker's job. They get up on the front end, and once they've latched onto you, then you start to inject the pace, and we find out who is the best. So all of the rubbish drops away as you round for home.
I mean, all of these kind of things come with a bit of a government health warning, because we've seen pacemakers slowly away and the whole thing turns into chaos. But surely Devil's Advocate is in there so that Aiden can't slow the pace down. If they really believe, and you have to remember they ran him in the Derby, but if they really believe that Delacroix is all about speed and could have run in the QE2, then a slow pace, I suspect, for him would be ideal against Ombudsman. Gozza is going to make sure they go hard. Almaqam from stall 1 will go forward. He could have run in the Arc. He'll go forward like Fraubrav in the 2003 Eclipse from stall 1. You go forward on Almaqam as if you're going to make the running, then you let the pacemakers come across. So it's Devil's Advocate's going to go hard for me, very hard.
Yeah, and that's where the problem lies, and we talk about there not really being a script, because if Robert Havlin goes wide, he's out in 11, isn't he? Kilimanjaro is in 8. So they're both looking at each other. Who is going to go from there? I mean, Robert Havlin has to kick and clear around Kilimanjaro. Is he going to hold his position?
But also, he can't go big. He can't do a beer castle.
No.
If he's 20 lengths clear, he becomes pointless.
If he goes and he forces up around the outside of Kilimanjaro, Wayne just comes back and he controls it from second. That's the problem.
These are the conversations that all connections will be having.
But I hope the jockeys are listening, because they can learn a lot from this.
But I'm sure they might be listening to Jason, Matt. Will they?
Don't you turn as well? I was thinking how well you were doing up until then.
Well, thank you, Matt. Will this not all play into the strengths of Calandagan, though?
Yes. Yeah, oh yes. Yeah, the French might... Look, everyone loves a bad boy. And we've got a few bad boys on show, both equine and human this afternoon. Although, Ollie, you have turned things around a little bit. But Calandagan is the horse who always finished second, looked like a quirker, who's now looked like a monster in his last 2 starts. Although, again, what beating Calpana like this is worth is open to some sort of question now after the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. But I think on all the known form of Calandagan, we know what he's going to do. He's not going to sit miles behind, but he's going to be towards the back. A strong pace is going to suit him, and he's the one with the power pack punch finish.
Yeah, he's the one. You know, some people will say because he's had a couple of runs up over 1.5 miles now, is he going to have enough tactical speed for the 2 at the top of the market? Yeah. That's going to be the angle in. But you only have to look back at how much ground he made up on City of Troy back at York on a track that's speed favouring, to suggest that he has to be a player.
Delacroix and Ombudsman, he will hope, are George Foreman. He'll be smashing away, and then Calandagan is Ali right at the end with the knockout.
Well, let's turn the clock back 12 months ago. Calandagan finished second. Economics was in the Champion Stakes last year.
2-1.
Given what Calandagan's done on his last couple of starts, do we put to bed any question marks about his sort of resolution and willingness to win?
Yeah, absolutely. We hammered him, didn't we? Early on, we were saying, oh, what has he done? He's saying you go first rather than me. But again, look at the difference in the conditions here, Ollie. That is key, isn't it? You know, he was picked up late in the day. Completely different track to race on today.
Delacroix, big drifter in the betting, chap, is out to 5-1 now.
Of the 2, Ombudsman and Delacroix, he's the one I fancy least. Although the whoosh on the home bend in the Irish Champion Stakes was impressive,
he didn't fly through the line.
He only beat Anmar a length of the line. Anmar obviously is defending champion here, now retired, but he only beat him a length. Royal Champion wasn't that far behind in thirds. I'm not sure how strong that form is.
If there is to be a boil over, and as I mentioned, it is a race that has thrown up sort of boil overs and shock results in the past, who's the one at a price that you think will outrun his odds?
I think Almaqam has got everything in his favour. Yeah, Almaqam?
Almaqam?
Oh, yeah. Him, I think he's the one who's got everything in his favour to run well.
It's tenuous for Chappers to try and get you back.
The one piece of form that I keep looking back at is when he absolutely rattled home in the St James's Palace. And I know they keep talking about him wanting soft ground. It's a big, free-moving type. I'm not with them there.
But who wins the Champion Stakes, Chappers?
Well, I'm so pleased we've got to the end of this conversation, because I've had this down my trousers for 10 minutes, and it's become a bit painful in the end. But Calandagan, come on, Graffard, show the world you're one of the greatest. Show Farb he's gone. Come on, Calandagan.
Talk about stepping into the pressure cooker. Every sportsman, jockey wants to be out there in this sort of contest. And I just feel that jockeyship is going to play a massive part. We're relying on William Buick producing yet another masterclass.